Today we're heading to the town of Drogheda in County Louth in Ireland, and we're going to try to complete 25 kilometers of the Celtic Camino, which makes up part of the world famous Santiago de Compostela. So this walk crosses many historical sites, including Melifont Abbey and the location of the Battle of the Boyne. So let's see if we can make it before it gets dark in this December day.
It's absolutely freezing today.
It helps walking faster, that's good. When it's cold you just walk faster, and since we are trying to do the whole 35 kilometers before it gets dark, cold is good.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing you notice in Drogheda is there's a lot of closed down businesses. This one looks closed, judging by the amount of leaves in the doorway, but yeah, there's a lot of closed businesses. Looks like it's not doing too well as a town, hard to say. So if you're doing this walk, this Camino, you have to really be careful of checking where you're going, because it's not very clear. So there's Camino signs. We'll show you some examples in a moment, but yeah, you should look up online. There's a map and you can see at least a rough outline of the trail. It's not a very good map, so I recommend downloading something maybe like OpenStreetMap on your phone. I think one of the problems in Ireland with these kind of walks is there's not enough trails that are off-road. So these are all following sort of, main roads a lot of the time, and yeah, it's kind of annoying. Let us know in the comments what you think of that. But I think personally, having done a lot of hiking across the world and different countries, I think Ireland should offer a lot more in terms of proper dedicated trails. If you look at Scotland, for example, there's trails everywhere across. They have right of access across people's land, and I know there's issues that come along with that potentially, people not respecting other people's property and so on. But I think there needs to be a balance, and I think in Ireland the balance is too much against walkers and hikers, and there's not enough. There's simply not enough dedicated trails. You're along busy roads too often that are dangerous and or just noisy. This one has a footpath so far. So we're approaching a turn off. So hopefully we'll be away from the busy road and have some solitude.
Some nice and quiet.
So you can see here, this is what we were talking about, these Camino signs. So this is what you need to look out for. So this is the classic Camino sign telling us to go this way. So it's the first sort of major turn off outside the town down this country lane.
Bye-bye, busy road.
Yeah, that feels better to be away from the traffic, that's for sure. So hopefully we'll stay away from the traffic. Let's see where this route takes us. Who knows what we will discover along the way. So we're on the way to Mellifont Abbey. So this abbey dates back all the way to, I think it was 1140 something in terms of its age. So it's an incredibly old abbey, and was the first Cistercian abbey in Ireland, and it was closed, I think, in 1540, sometime around that period. Don't have the exact dates, but it's definitely in the 16th century. It was shut down by, I think, King Henry VIII under his orders. It was also used in 1690 by William of Orange during the Battle of Boyne as a headquarters for William of Orange and his invading army. And the Battle of Boyne took place, if I just flip the camera around, it took place somewhere over there, which we'll pass later on, I believe, according to the map, the site of the Battle of the Boyne. But somewhere on the other side of the River Boyne, beyond that bridge there, are the fields where the Battle of the Boyne took place. So I won't go into the detailed history of the Battle of the Boyne, but I recommend maybe in another video we'll go and spend an afternoon at the site of the Battle of the Boyne. So there's another sign telling us to go this way underneath this overpass. So far, this part of the Celtic Camino has been quite noisy and busy with traffic, but I believe up ahead it should calm down a little bit and we should go through some woodland. Let us know in the comments if you've ever walked any of the Santiago de Compostela or if you've walked the Celtic Camino. There's multiple Celtic Caminos, by the way, so if you check out online, if you Google Celtic Caminos in Britain and Ireland, you'll see there's lots of different ones that you can do. So it's not only this Camino that we're on today, there's also many other Caminos that all contribute to the overall Santiago de Compostela. So I think you can have a passport and you can have it stamped to show that you've done enough kilometers to achieve the whole pilgrimage. Also, let us know in the comments if the other parts of the Celtic Camino were nice. Were they along roads? Were they in woodland, more peaceful? So today is really a race against the sun, because the sun is getting lower in the sky, and we have many kilometers to cover. So let's hope
Not even halfway yet.
we have a torch with us should we need it. But yeah, you wouldn't want to really walk along these roads in the dark. This one's okay right now, but some of the busier ones are...
This one is not busy, but it is a fast one. It's 80 kilometers an hour, so you don't want to be walking here in the dark.
Exactly. As we mentioned earlier, our objective is to get to Melifont Abbey. That's the furthest point on this Camino. So when you go towards the Abbey, you'll see on the map there's sort of a bit like a figure 8 that you kind of loop around, reach the Abbey and then loop back a different way and cross over the River Boyne, and then you can walk along the Greenway, which is a dedicated cycle track and walkway on the other side of the River Boyne. So yeah, it's a long way to Melifont Abbey, so it's probably about 12 kilometers to get there, 12 and a half, and then 12 and a half back. I don't know how many we've walked so far, but we have a lot of walking ahead of us. So this is an example of why you need to watch out on Irish country roads, because the speed limits around here are crazy. They're often 80 kilometers an hour, and sometimes I think even more, but yeah, there's a lot of blind bends, so if you're doing this walk, just be a bit careful. This road's fairly quiet, so it's okay, but if you're walking back here in the dark, it wouldn't be so great. We just have to cross this main road here. You can see there's a yellow sign on the signpost in front of us. So I'm not going to walk along the road. It's telling us to go maybe down this way, so at least this bit's off the road. We're approaching the crossroads of the figure 8 that I was explaining is sort of the pattern of this loop walk. So this is the bit where you come back, I believe, along this road across that way. But right now we're going to go up here through these gates into this country park. So here you can see a map of the walk. So you can see we started here in Drogheda, we've walked up this way, and we're now at this point. So this Townley Hall, some kind of country park, and I believe you can go either way. So we're going to go in this way, and then up and around to Melifont Abbey, and then back. So let's go. We still hear the road, but at least we're in the woods. So it's nice to be in a bit of nature if you're doing a walk like this.
Absolutely, yeah. So we did start the walk a bit late, and it will be a literal race against the sun. The winter light at this time of the day is just beautiful.
Just look at all these beautiful colours. There's still some leaves left on the trees, even though we've had a few big storms over the past few weeks. This is a bit of a run and gun video. We haven't had much time to catch our breath or to do much B-roll. So it's what you see is what you get. So it's quite as it happened, trying to beat the sun. Things have quietened down a bit now. We're away from the traffic. You still hear it in the distance, but it's nice to be in nature. And there's so much history in this region that I really would need to make several videos to cover it all. But as I said, there's also the Battle of the Boyne site that is quite interesting, and Newgrange, which is I think it's 6,000 years old from what I remember. It's a Neolithic, I think. Is it Neolithic? I always get mixed up on my ethics, but I think it's a Neolithic tomb. But it's certainly a really, really old tomb, and it's a massive structure, older than the pyramids. And that's also quite close by. Won't be passing it today, but yeah, there's so much history in this area.
You're happy, but you need to pee. Clap your hands. Just so you know, there's zero restroom break between Drogheda and the Abbey, so hopefully there will be a coffee shop and some facilities we can use.
It's funny when you do these walks, you don't often see too many people. And it makes me wonder, are people walking less these days along trails like this? Because we're often doing all sorts of what you would think would be quite popular hiking routes. And whilst okay, it's the beginning of December, there's not too many people. And just as I say that, someone's coming along with a dog. But we haven't seen anyone else so far. As you can already see, it's starting to get not quite dark, but the sun is starting to set and slowly disappearing into the horizon. So hopefully we'll make it, because we still have at least, I don't know, another 5 kilometers to go till we get to Melifont Abbey.
And then another 10 or 12 to get back to Drogheda.
Yeah, so I think some of this is probably going to be in the dark, but let's see how we go. At least if we make it to Melifont Abbey before it gets dark, that will be an achievement. It turns out that this country park is actually quite big, bigger than what I expected. So yeah, it's really nice part of the walk. Really nice to get away from the road and to be in the woods. So yeah, definitely worth, so far, worth doing this Celtic Camino.
Absolutely. And so far, well signposted as well. We did not get lost once.
Yeah. Well, I think I spoke a little too soon, because it looks like we're coming to the end of this park, and I see what looks to be a road up ahead. Yes, so hopefully it won't be a busy road, although I hear traffic roaring by. Let's see. Back on the road. So yeah, unfortunately we are on what looks like a fairly fast road. We just had a car go by at speed, so we need to take care. But yeah, it seems, as I said, it's a mixed kind of route, part road, part country park. So hopefully we won't have too many cars coming by. But yeah, you need to watch out, because of course in this part of the world people drive on the left, and we are actually really on the wrong side of the road, because we should be facing oncoming traffic, but we'll adjust as we go. So there should be a turn-off up here somewhere. It's not entirely clear. try to keep in and avoid getting run over. We had taken the wrong road and we ended up walking quite a bit down that way, so we had to come back up, and we couldn't find the sign, but actually it was kind of hidden. So if you're walking along that main road, be careful, because it's really easy to miss the signpost pointing.
Yeah, matter, blink and you'll miss us.
Yeah, so just be careful because it's not entirely clear. But yeah, you have to go up this country lane, and it also says there's a factory on the map, and there's absolutely no factory. So that's some kind of mistake. I don't know, maybe there was a factory, but there's no factory that we can see, just houses and farms. So this is definitely the right route though. So just be careful on that section of the Camino. Looks like we're the only people doing this Camino today. We haven't really seen many other people, and those that we have passed, it doesn't look like they are walking this Camino. So it's kind of cool that we are walking alone on this Celtic Camino. Nobody else probably is walking today, maybe because it's December and it gets dark early, but that's a nice, it's kind of nice. And also kind of, I suppose, a bit sad that there's not more people doing these kind of things. Let us know in the comments if you feel the same, or where you live. Are there long walks that you see a lot of people doing, or Caminos that you know a lot of people walk? But I kind of get the impression that probably not so many people do this Camino. I'm guessing that by how it sort of follows the road a lot. And I can't imagine too many tourists would know about it, because we only found out about it by accident. So it's not very well publicized from what I can see. And also, as I said, because it follows the road a lot, I don't think it's something that day trippers would probably do very often, unless you're setting out to do the Camino because you want to do part of the Santiago de Compostela, then otherwise maybe there's other walks you might choose to do. It's kind of hard to know. Let us know what you think. Hello. This is our next turn here, and straight down we go. So I think, looking at the map, that this should be one of the last roads to the Abbey. So we should be within 1 kilometer or so, I think, of the Abbey, which means that we have walked a whopping 11.5 kilometers so far. Which is, yeah, which is quite, oh, nice cottage, which is quite a lot of walking, because honestly it feels like I don't know how many hours we've been walking, but it feels really fast that we've done this. We've been speed walking the whole way.
Any faster than we'd have been running.
We would, yeah, almost. My estimates are correct. We should be almost there at the bottom of this road. There should be a turn off to the left, and then we should be at the Abbey, at Melifont Abbey. And just before you reach this very nice and cute stone bridge right ahead of us, you turn left and follow the Camino signs. That looks like a really nice looking bridge. So up this road, and at the end of this road, there should be Melifont Abbey. I can see some ruins in the distance. And we have reached Melifont Abbey. So this is some kind of gatehouse by the looks of it. the entrance up ahead. Hopefully it's still open. It looks like it's still open. Wow, look at that.
Beautiful.
Yes, it's still open. Yes. That would have been quite the disappointment if it was closed. It doesn't look like it closes actually. There is actually no gate, so to speak. There's this coffee shop, a gift shop perhaps, visitor centre.
That's closed, yeah.
That looks very closed. Probably because of the time of year. We see just some people looking around the Abbey in front of us, so we're not the only ones here. Gate closes at 5:30 p.m. sharp. Not sure what gate, if that means this gate, probably. But there's no gate to the actual Abbey, so it appears to be open all the time from what I can see. Wow, look at that. That was some Abbey. So we have some information here about the Cistercian order. The Cistercian order was founded in 1098 by Robert, the abbot of Molesme. How would you pronounce that? Burgundy. Molesme. You did a much better job than I. So let's have a little wander down. So it says founded in 1142. There's a map of the Abbey. And there's a picture.
Like.
Yep, a picture of what it would have looked like back in the day. So comparing with now. This is what it would have looked like in the 13th century. Part of the, I guess, the chapel. So this is the furthest point of the Camino before we loop back. So it's quite a epic furthest point, really. Couldn't really be more epic than that. So I wonder in what year it fell into ruin. I know it was closed down in the 16th century. I think by King Henry VIII, I'm guessing. He closed down all the abbeys in Ireland around that time. And obviously there was a lot of religious and political conflict. But I wonder at what point it fell into ruin. So if you know, or leave some comments and let us know if you have any additional information regarding that. Let's have a look over here. Interesting that this chapel isn't totally ruined, still has a roof on it. So I wonder why this one is preserved and not the others. As it says on the sign, Mellifont was the first Cistercian abbey to be founded in Ireland. It says the Cistercian order was introduced to Ireland by Saint Malachy. It's kind of hard to imagine what it would be like, what it was like before, with all the monks working and praying and living in this abbey. When you see it in ruin like this, it's hard to sort of grasp how big it was. It certainly was pretty big. Looking at the ruins. Some picnic benches to the side. Melifont Abbey was the first Cistercian monastery in Ireland. So St. Malachy of Armagh created it in 1142 with the help of a small number of monks sent by St. Bernard from Clairvaux in France. The monks did not take well to Ireland and soon returned to France, but the abbey was completed anyway and duly consecrated with great pomp. It has several extraordinary architectural features, the foremost of which is the two-story octagonal lavabo. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but that's this structure here. The monks at Mellifont hosted a critical synod in 1152. The abbey was central to the history of later centuries too, even though it was in private hands by then. The Treaty of Mellifont, which ended the 9 Years' War, was signed here in 1603. And William of Orange used the abbey as his headquarters during the momentous Battle of the Boyne. Nestled beside the Mattock River in County Louth, Old Melifont Abbey was once the most powerful monastery in medieval Ireland. Nowadays the site is no longer a bustling hub of activity, but rather a haven of peace and tranquility. Proximity to water was a guiding principle in choosing the location of Cistercian houses. While you walk among the ruins, allow yourself to be mesmerized by the natural music of the Mattock. So if we listen carefully, we can hear the River Mattock in the background. Okay, so as it's starting to get a bit dark and we have 12.5 kilometers to walk back, we are going to start rapidly heading back now on the second half of this Camino, which will be probably partly by torchlight. So we we can be more, I don't know, authentic. And if we had an actual lantern or something with us, maybe we could try to look medieval, but we'll use a battery-powered torch. But yes, we're about to leave Melifont Abbey, the farthest point of this Camino, this Celtic Camino, and head back out the way we came in. But this video is not over yet, because we're only halfway there. So now we will head back down towards the River Boyne and the valley of the River Boyne to the site of the Battle of the Boyne.
We've made the first 12.5 kilometers in about 2 hours. So hopefully we'll be almost in Drogheda by the time the sun sets.
It's just starting to get a little bit darker now. The sun is starting to set. Behind us in the west, you can see out over the Boyne Valley. It's Drogheda in the distance where we started, quite some ways away and quite some way back. So we better get a skedaddle on and get moving.
And hopefully we'll at least make it to the Boyne Valley before it's pitch black.
I hope you're enjoying this video so far. We had intended on a completely different trip today in Dublin, but we decided last minute, literally at the train station, to take a train to Drogheda and to do this 25-kilometer Camino. So it's completely unprepared and unplanned, and just real run and gun. It's not going to win any awards for cinematography, but hopefully you're enjoying it. We're entering the village of Tullyallen, and it's here that you can find a shop that will stamp your Camino passport if you have one. So it's down that way to the shop, and there's also a pub, I think a Chinese takeaway. But we're going to head down this way now towards King William's Glen. So it should go back into some woodlands. I think we'll need a torch pretty soon as the light is fading. I think the camera does a good job of making it look a little bit brighter than it actually is right now. But it's not too bad, we can still see where we're going. So back into the woods we go in King William's Glen, presumably named after William of Orange, who won the Battle of the Boyne. And now we can see it's getting dark. I think the torch will be coming on. We've reached back at the place we were earlier, at the sort of middle of the figure 8 loop, and now we head down this way to head across towards the River Boyne. So this is what we have to take care with now and contend with traffic. Okay, so we made it to the site of the Battle of the Boyne, which runs along this Camino. And here we see one of the cannons that was probably used during the battle. So I believe it took place in the surrounding fields around here. So if you would like us to come back and visit the site of the Battle of the Boyne, let us know in the comments. But I think for today we will continue along the Camino and leave that for another day. What do you reckon?
Yeah, and we promise we'll come back in the daytime if we're to come back.
We finally reached some semblance of civilization again. We have some street lighting on this greenway that runs alongside the River Boyne. I'd say we have a few more kilometres left until we reach Drogheda, the medieval town of Drogheda, which has some quite interesting medieval ruins and monuments and things to look around for another day. I think we've done pretty well in covering ground today. We've been walking for, I don't know, about 3.5 hours so far.
About that, yeah.
Something like that, and I'd say, I don't know what speed we're walking at, but
6 kilometres an hour would be my guess.
yeah, maybe a little more if on average, if we're almost at 25 kilometres.
Sure.
So then we'd say in 4 hours, 3.5 hours, yeah, maybe, I don't know, 6 or 7 kilometres per hour, but certainly a good constant speed. We haven't had a single break, really. We just popped into the church, the cathedral in Drogheda at the beginning for a few minutes, and apart from that, we have been walking the whole time, so not bad at all. Well, folks, we hope you enjoyed accompanying us on this Celtic Camino that we've completed. We're going to finish up now and we're going to have some well-deserved food. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll finish the video off with some Christmas lights of Drogheda. So hope you enjoy that. See you in the next video.